Hey guys, welcome to our channel. We have a relatively new channel here, first time ever doing anything like this. We just wanted to start off with an introduction and then kind of go into kind of like a beginner's guide on how to get into this stuff. So first off, I'm Steel Wolf and here is
Spider Kid.
And we'll be giving a more of a intermediate kind of opinion on collecting and also a more of a casual opinion on collecting. And basically in this channel we're going to go ahead and review all kinds of stuff, you know, Mezco, Marvel Legends, Marvel Select, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, you name it. Anything that looks cool that we like, you know, and other people like, we're going to review it and look it over. And again, giving the two perspectives. So kind of for beginner guide though, you know I had a little bit of a hard time getting into it, and when I started I was really overwhelmed on prices and where to go to get this stuff. So you know, kind of some places where you can go to start collecting and finding stuff is for more of a casual perspective, you know, where you're gonna find these stores everywhere, and that's Target. I mean, would you say we find a lot of stuff at Target?
It's kind of like in middle. Mostly you only find anything mostly like about like 3 figures, but it's mostly like all like the brand new ones that mostly come out, but you won't see anything really good.
And I don't know if this is because of the pandemic or whatnot, but it definitely seems that the shelves are more scarce nowadays, where you won't find a lot. But at least, you know, Target does carry good things when they do have things in stock. And they also do pre-orders, not to mention Target exclusives. You just want to jump on those. Another place, you know, that you'll find anywhere is Walmart. I mean, Walmart, same thing, right? We've kind of find stuff here and there. Yeah, and you can also pre-order with Walmart as well, and they also have their own Walmart exclusives. I know, and these locations will let you pre-order your figure, which means you're gonna get one. The thing is that with like Target, they're gonna go ahead and basically charge you when they ship you the item. So just be prepared for that and be ready, you know, to pull the trigger on that thing. For Amazon's another kind of a casual, you know, to collect, you know, figures and stuff like that. You'll find all kinds of stuff there as well. You'll find even Amazon exclusives as well, you know. The only thing is though is with all these places, you just got to keep an eye on price points, you know. Definitely, you know, you have a budget, you know, what you're willing to spend and how often, and kind of work around that, work with that, and always shop around. I mean, if it's one thing that we do, we shop around so much. We'll hit a bunch of different stores just to try to find that price, unless we know it's going to be a really rare figure or it's something that's really wanted or scarce out there. Then we will jump on it, you know. But we rarely ever, you know, will go on eBay and pay like, you know, triple price for something. Very, very rare. I mean, we don't have it like that. So, you know, if that's what you want to do, go for it. As long as you want to get your guy, you get him, you know. But eBay is another place, you know. I just kind of stay away from it just because of, again, prices. They tend to go pretty high, you know. Another place you can find stuff at that's, you know, you can find it anywhere too is Ross. Ross, you know, they just have a random just shelves of just random toys, and every now and then you'll find some Transformers, you'll find some Ninja Turtles, and you'll find some Marvel Legends. Now, granted, with these finds, they're not going to be anything from a brand new wave, but it'll be from an older wave, and that's a great way to buy something on the cheap so that you can customize it or just add it to your collection, you know. Maybe you didn't want to buy a certain figure because you don't really know who he is and you don't want to spend full price, but you'll be willing to pick him up at half off, right? So that's another way to do things. Another place is Gamestop. I mean, Gamestop is kind of iffy because they don't really have a great selection, and it's only lately with the whole pandemic stuff where there's shipping delays and all that. But the plus about GameStop is that they actually let you pre-order just like everybody else, except for these guys, you give down a $5, you know, down, you know, and then you can actually pay off your figure little by little. So if your figure doesn't come out for another 3 months, that's how long you have to pay him off little by little, you know, if that's what you wanted to do, you know. So for us, it's a great way for us to like reserve a bunch of stuff to make sure we have it, and then just pay, you know, 5, 10, 15 whenever we can, till eventually they come out and we can actually just go pick them up, you know. So that's always a plus in my book, to be able to pay them off like that, you know, versus, you know, like Walmart, that you basically just reserve one, and then when it's time for them to ship it to you, that's when they're going to charge you, you know. So if your funds aren't where they're supposed to be on that date, then you're not going to get your figure, you know. But, you know, other places too, you know, for casuals is Walgreens. Walgreens, again, pandemic maybe, I don't know, but very, very, very scarce lately. But they do have the exclusives. So those guys also get exclusives from like Hasbro, Marvel Legends, which means that only that store will have that particular figure, you know. Other places, you know, for more of an intermediate side, you know, you can go to Facebook Market. You can find a lot of people selling their collection off. You know, sometimes people will sell new stuff, but just be wary of prices. They might charge you at least $10 to $15 more. But it's a great way to pick up older waves that you don't mind if they're opened, you know. And a lot of these guys are collectors, so they're going to keep these things on the shelf with all the accessories, you know. But instead of paying that $20, they might sell them for 10 to 15, you know, which is a great way to pick these up. I mean, we've bought a lot of them like that too, you know. I mean, he recently got a Mr. Fantastic, you know, from the Super Scroll wave, and he wants to do a Incredible Bagman custom with that, you know, and that's a great way to start with that, you know. We only paid what, $10 from the guy, you know. Just be careful with these people, because you never know nowadays. But honestly, I've never had an issue with somebody being shady or weird or anything like that, you know. Just make sure that you're always meeting up in a public place and whatnot.
We've been safe.
Yeah. And that also goes the same with OfferUp. OfferUp is another great place to actually find these deals from people as well. And also, you know, for like the McFarlane toys, you know, that they're doing their build and collect figures, and Marvel Legends with the Build-A-Figures, you know, you might not want some random goon, you know, from that wave. You might not be that big of a fan and might not really know who that guy is, so you don't want to drop the $20 just to get the Build-A-Figure piece. Well, OfferUp and, you know, Facebook Market are a great place to go to find these Build-A-Figure pieces, because other people feel the same. They don't want to build the Build-A-Figure piece, so they'll basically just sell you the parts to it. And, you know, prices can vary from $5 to $15. I think $15 is the most expensive I've encountered, but I've encountered some as inexpensive as $5, you know. Typically it's about $8. It just depends on the Build-A-Figure and the rarity of it, you know. But that's also a great way to get your Build-A-Figures built, you know. And other places, you know, we have like Dorkside Toys, Big Bad Toy Stores. These are more like your serious collector stores, you know. They will have what you want, you know, even though they do run out of stock, but they'll have basically what you want, all kinds of other types of figures and collectibles and you name it. They can be a little bit more expensive than if you go to a retailer like Target or Walmart, but I'm assuming that it's because, you know, they're going to have it, and that's why they charge you a little more. But then you also have the charge of shipping, you know, unless you spend a certain amount, you know. So I don't like to pay shipping, so I'd rather go hunting for these things at my local stores before I, you know, resort to my last resort and then try to get it from these guys, you know. eBay is another place, you know, where I rarely buy from, and that's because, again, you're going to find those prices just going up. You're going to find what you're looking for, but just those prices are going to go through the roof. And, you know, if what you're looking for is worth it, then hey, by all means, go for it. It's just we haven't gone that route yet. You know, we still kind of just wait it out or go trying to find these places, you know. Hasbro Pulse is also another place where you can find specific exclusives, like they do their Builder Army characters, like the Skrulls, Shield agents that are now out, you know, AIM,
Hydra
you know,
agents.
Hydra agents, yeah, and those are great to build little armies with, take pictures, you name it, just in your shelf, whatever it is, you know. And last but not least, you also have the mom and pop shops, so like, you know, little small businesses that are owned by private, you know, collectors that are just buying and selling and trading, you know, action figures, pieces, accessories, video games, you name it. Those are always options. Just be wary that when you go to a store like that, they're going to charge for, you know, figures that you can find at Walmart $30.
And from our experience, I think it'll be better getting the Build-A-Figure pieces from them.
Yeah, that's another plus from those places, because there's a place we go to in San Pedro, you know, near LA, that's this place basically has this ginormous bin of just a bunch of Build-A-Figure pieces, and it's just a matter of going in there, looking through all that, and getting what you want. The only downside is that this place tends to kind of change their prices on the fly. I mean, the first time we went, they wanted $5 per part, which ain't bad. And then the second time we went, they bumped it up to $8. So it's kind of always going up and down. And I think that kind of goes with more of like if they know you, you know. And since we're out of town, they don't really know us. But we go there enough, you know. We have family down that way. So, but that place is in San Pedro. So, another place to go to if you're around the area here in California is Frank and Sons. Frank and Sons is huge. It's basically an old Sam's Club or Walmart, or no, sorry, not Walmart, Costco, that basically somebody just set up a bunch of businesses in there, and they're all collectible businesses. So they sell comic cards, comic books, action figures, Pokemon cards, anime statues, you name it. Everything collectible, they have it. But again, this comes down to just be wary, because you can find some of these things at your Walmart or Target for retail.
And they will sell it really way too much.
Yeah, these guys will mark it up, 10, 15, even sometimes $20 more, for something that you can literally drive down to Walmart and pick it up for $18. So just be wary. I mean, if it's something you absolutely need, hey, go for it, Don't get me wrong, though. There are places in Frank and Sons that do sell retail. I mean, we saw this one place. I'm not sure the name of the place, but it was just one of those places. They had a bunch of the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures, and they were like $20, brand new in the box, So if you ask me, that was a great place to go in there and get what you needed. And they had some pretty rare figures that I've never seen on the shelf, So it's definitely worth checking it out. If you've never gone down there, you'll definitely just come out, jaw dropped on all the cool stuff they have,
And there's this one guy also that makes like custom heads for Marvel Legends.
That was pretty cool. They're custom heads. The only downside, or it could be an upside, is that they're not painted, so they're kind of that grayish plastic. It's a downside only because, for example, me, I don't have the skill to be able to figure out the color tones of flesh and whatnot and get it to look good, but if that's you, then that's where you want to go, because you can get some really cool things that are custom and make them look good too. Yeah, so that's basically like your, places you want to go to, stores. And there's many more online stores as well, but there's, I just threw in there a few, and again, these are just tips, that's kind of if we knew about these things, it would have definitely helped us. We just kind of ran out there and just started buying what we could. And as for now, the types of action figures that you want to collect, again, whatever you think looks cool, get it, but most of your collectors and people that that have experience in doing this will typically tend to stick with things like your Marvel Legends. In my opinion, Marvel Legends, they've been great prices, I mean, $20, $20 to $25, even though lately it's kind of been going up a little bit, like this last Endgame saga that came out, they've been kind of expensive, $26, and they got that new Doctor Strange that they just announced, and he's $26, Walmart exclusive. But with this guy, I can justify that only because of the amount of accessories. He gets 2 weapons, 2 sets of hands, 3 head sculpts, I mean, for me, that's worth it. When typically you'll get a Marvel Legend that's $20 and absolutely no accessories, and it's like, oh, come on, But I'm okay with that, And then they got their deluxe figures, that come packaged differently. They're bigger figures, and those guys usually go for $30, There's other figures like your Marvel Select, and Marvel Legends, Marvel Select. The big difference is, in my opinion, the Marvel Selects tend to be a little bit more detailed, and those guys always come with the most coolest accessories too. Now those guys are a little bit more expensive. They start at $25 when Marvel Legends usually start at $20. But they look great. They're 7-inch scale versus 6-inch scale. You also have SH Figure Arts. Those guys are a little smaller, closer to the 5-inch. But some of them do get up to about 6 inches. But your SH Figure Arts, man, the articulation on those guys are great. I mean, this is one of Spider Kid's customs here. It was a basic SH Figure Art, the ones that they use, for drawing. But these guys are super posable, and basically what he did was just kind of make his own clothes. I mean, he literally just made this clothes, And then, you pull this guy off, and that's the face of the guy, It's just a basic plain face, no expressions, no nothing. But the posability of these guys is just absolutely awesome. I mean, they can do so many cool, moves. Like, you can pose them in really cool dynamic action poses, Marvel Legends also has that, but not as good as these guys, The only thing, though, is that these guys, their price points, are going to be anywhere from $80 to $150, and that just depends on the characters, you know, like for example, you could have, you know, an Iron Man be about $150, and then you can have like a Gwenpool be like $80. It just depends on the character. The prices vary. Another figure line that people like to collect are the Amazi Yamaguchi, and again, you know, this is your Amazi Yamaguchi Deadpool right here, you know, and this isn't even in my collection. I mean, this guy looks absolutely amazing, but I don't know. For me, I feel like, you know, the price points are a little high, you know, and I kind of like to stick on the low end, because for buying this guy, I could probably pick up 2 or 3 Marvel Legends, just depending on the prices that I find, you know. But this one belongs to Spider Kids collection, and again, the articulation on that Amazi Yamaguchi, just amazing. It's just literally in the name, amazing. I mean, he looks good. He comes with different eyes that you could put in to change his expression, some weapons. He's posing him right now, but I mean, he just looks so cool. He comes with the stand too. The box art's always pretty cool on those things too. The only problem with these guys though is that they have like that weird gappage that they get sometimes. Let me show them here. So if you see this gappage right there on the shoulder, you can see like the little joint right there, or the ball peg. That's kind of the stuff that I don't like to see, you know. But I mean, if you're trying to take pictures, this guy will look great. And then, you know, just depending on your angles that you're doing, like if you see right there, you can see that gap kind of looks kind of weird. But don't let that, you know, turn you off on this guy. I mean, he can get into some really cool dynamic poses. Really cool stuff. Their line is Mafex. Mafex, they look a lot like the Amazi Yamaguchi, just
less gaps.
Yeah, a little bit less gaps. The Mafex, they make a lot of cool stuff too, man. Like they have the Iron Man that they released, the War Machine. Those guys look great. The Gambit. Oh man, those guys look great. We don't have a Mafex guy yet, you know. Well, yet, but those guys look good. I mean, they just look awesome. And you know, those price points for those guys are going to be also anywhere from 80 to about 150. And again, it just depends on which character you're getting. Another toy line that people like to collect, now getting into the more higher end one here, is your Mezco. And again, this guy looks great. And no, he's not part of my collection. This is part of Spider Kids, you know, and that's kind of why I like to label him more of a casual collector, because he kind of dips his hand into all different kind of brands and stuff, you know. And me, I kind of tend to stay more with certain types. Like the ones I stick with is Marvel Legends, you know, and also the McFarlane, you know. And I got a lot of those guys, you know. But yeah, here you go. Here's your Mezco Wolverine right here. And I mean, just look at this guy. He looks freaking cool. I mean, look at the dog tag. It's actually like on a little chain here. On a little chain.
It's a real chain.
And you can see the little dog tag there. You know? Unfortunately, the hat doesn't come off. It's part of the head sculpt, but he comes with 2 other sculpts too as well. And the clothes, it's actual cloth. I mean, this is cloth. If you actually kind of move this up here, you can see the rest of the boot. I mean, it's all there. The articulation on this guy looks really good too. I mean, he can get into some really cool poses. I still think that he can articulate better than the Marvel Legends, you know, but I mean, it just depends on price point, on how much you want to spend, you know. Again, this guy was what, like $80, $80, $90 around there.
Yeah.
He also came with this cool leather jacket, you know. Really cool. And this guy would look great next to, you know, another, like, you know, like their Amazi Yamaguchi. I mean, here's your Deadpool. Here's your Wolverine. You know, good size, you know. Stands up pretty well with them. Their really expensive line is the Hot Toys. Hot Toys can be very expensive, and those guys range from $150 to about $700, and even more than that. Just again, depending on the character that you're buying. But those guys are absolutely just insane. A whole nother level. Great articulation, photorealistic head sculpts and everything. A lot of accessories. And especially when it comes down to like Iron Man, you can, all the little parts that move and everything is so cool. So cool. Those guys are 12 inches tall though, so they would not work well with, you know, your other ones here. These guys are all about your 6-inch mark right here.
6 to 7.
Just depending on the character. Like if it was Juggernaut, he's definitely going to be a lot bigger, you know. But that's just the scale, you know. So yeah, you know, you also have other stuff like, you know, the new McFarlane line that he's been doing, you know, for the DC Multiverse. I like that line. I'm not a huge fan of the articulation on those guys. To me, they feel a little stiff, huh? And a little bit kind of hard to pose them in certain ways, you know. But I mean, visually, holy crap!
Just a casual pose is already good enough.
Yeah, I mean, just this guy standing the way he is. I mean, just come on, look at that. Look at that trench coat, all those spikes on there, and this is the death metal Batman here. But I mean, he's done so many of these figures that look really cool. This cape is kind of this soft plastic material, but it's still a lot of detail on this cape. You know, trench coat. I mean, look at these arm guards here. This is also like a soft plastic, but you know, I mean, look at those chains inside. He just looks so cool. This is the kind of figure that you just want him on your shelf, just because how cool he looks.
And that's why
you know, it kind of gives you that heavy metal, old school vibe, you know. But that's kind of what they were going for in the comic, and McFarlane tends to kind of bring that comic to life, you know. That's kind of what he does. But yeah, and these guys are priced fairly well too. I think anywhere from $20 to $25. You know, if it's a build and collect figure, $25. You know, the extra $5 you're paying for is the build and collect piece for the figure. You know, other than that, they're just $20 each. You know, and then last but not least, we have your Marvel Legends. You know, and here's a Marvel Legends. Here's your symbiote suit Spider-Man, and this was the one that came in the 2-pack with Kraven. I missed out on this guy. This is also part of Spider Kids collection here. But this guy's got great posability too. You know, for Marvel Legends. Granted, the 2-pack's $40, but I mean, it's like you're paying $20 per character, you know, so it's not bad. It's not bad at all, but definitely a good character and figure. But yeah, you know, so they're just some tips, you know, on where to go, where to find this stuff, what they look like, you know, some of the small differences. We didn't hit too much into really huge detail on these guys because that could be even longer, you know.
For
but
the next episode.
You know, so we're trying to keep it a little bit short here. But, you know, you have also the toy companies like NECA. They tend to make a lot of movie line stuff like Alien, Predator, Back to the Future, things like that, you know. They also do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You also have your Transformers, which those are just so cool. Transformers are amazing. You know, so just whatever you want to collect, you know, you think it looks cool, you get it, man. Build your shelf. It don't have to be a certain theme. I mean, we'll show, you know, pics of his collection later on, and he's got a lot of random stuff, which is really cool. You know, if you look at my shelf, I got my MCU shelf, I got my comic books, you know, shelf, you know, things like that. But you don't have to have those specific. You collect what you want to collect, and hopefully we can help you make those decisions with the reviews that we make, you know. So, but yeah, and just one last thing too, GameStop. Always look out for GameStop's promotions because these last couple of months, they've had this promotion where you buy a Marvel Legend and they give you a pack of cards. And these cards are like the old school, you know, Upper Deck cards that used to come out a long time ago when I was a kid. You know, so that was definitely nostalgic and cool, you know. The only problem is that their employees rarely ever know about the promotions, and you kind of got to, like, you know, put your foot down and, you know, make sure you get your pack. And they're very iffy about which character gets it. It never makes any sense, you know. Like the first time they did it, it was for a specific wave. The villains wave, yeah. There was it was the Zemnu wave. So you had to buy one of those to qualify for one pack of cards. And then this time around, it was just kind of random. There wasn't really any specific wave. But like, for example, I got a pack of cards for purchasing Endgame Thor, you know, from the Infinity Saga. And they gave me a pack of cards. But then when I picked up the Infinity Quicksilver, that one, I didn't get a pack of cards. I didn't qualify for it. So it was just the weirdest thing.
And
so
Maestro too.
Yeah, Maestro. I picked up Maestro, and he didn't qualify for a pack of cards either. So it's very weird the way they do things, and they never really know 100%. Just kind of try to put your foot down, and, you know, hopefully you'll get the promotion. And we'll definitely do a video of those cards so you guys can see what we're talking about. Hopefully by the time you see that video, they're still out there. You can still pick them up, and hopefully they'll continue to do that promotion, you know, because that's always cool to get extra stuff. Like McFarlane, if you don't know yet, but McFarlane, you know, when you get a figure from him, you know, they come with a collectible card, which is really cool. I mean, it reminds me of the Toy Biz when they used to give you the full comic book, you know. But I mean, cards, I love cards, you know, so that'd be cool to have, you know. And right now, currently, he has all the cards, so he's keeping them for me. So yeah, that was just a quick little intro on for us, and kind of what we're gonna do on the channel. And bear with us. We're new at this. Hopefully, with time we're gonna get better. Just bear with us. But definitely, tune back in. We're gonna have a review on. We got quite a lot of stuff to review, so we haven't decided what we're gonna do first. But we're gonna definitely do something here pretty soon. So this is Steel Wolf and Spider Kid, and hopefully you'll join us again for another one. All right, thanks a lot.